Hey guys, thanks for joining us this week. I am guest hosting for Barry and I am excited to be coming to you from Kentucky Lake. We're normally bass fishing or crappie fishing here, but today we're fishing for bluegill and shellcracker. We are pan fishing. This is something that's awesome to take somebody that doesn't fish a lot, maybe a kid. The action's fast, and that's what we're looking for here today. Stay tuned because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi guys, I'm Crispin Powley. I'm going to be your host for today. I'm a native Tennessean. I grew up here on beautiful Kentucky Lake. I've had the fortune, the blessings of being in the fishing industry for about the last 20 years. I've got to travel all over the country. Today we're going to be pan fishing on Kentucky Lake. Known for its bass fishing and its crappie fishing, it is also just a destination spot for bluegill and shellcrackers. We're a little bit early. We're on the front end of when most people come here and fish. We're on the front end of the spawn. I think it's going to be a good time. Kentucky Lake's really fishing good right now. It's a gigantic body of water. It's 189 miles from dam to dam. It's one of the unique lakes in the country that flows from south to north. We're in about the middle section of the lake today. We're in the New Johnsonville area. We're targeting the spawning first wave of bluegill and shellcrackers that are moving up and making beds. So we're just going to get out there and have a real good time. And we're also going to get you a ton of information from your local region, from your local reporters. I'm going to get this tracker boat launched. While I do, I'm going to send you back to the FSN studios for the weekend planner.
The Salooner tables are indicating that Saturday will have the best game fish activity of the weekend, with peak daytime action beginning at 3:45 in the afternoon. Sunrise will take place at 6:29 with sunset occurring at 8:18. And we just had a full moon this week, so evenings should still be fairly bright. Stay with us for regional fishing updates from around the area. And we'll talk crappie fishing on this week's Ask the Pro feature.
What I've got is a little jig head, about a 30, maybe a 16th ounce. And I've got a red worm, there's one, threaded up on it. And I'm dragging it on the bottom out there where they're bedding. And they can't stand it. Right there's a decent bluegill. What you've got are these males coming in here, getting these beds ready. That's a decent sized bluegill. That's a pretty average sized bluegill right there. Just a beautiful fish. They got these little ears on them, and they are just so much fun to catch, and they bite. There's no telling how many, probably hundreds of them up there. Not only do I love doing this, but I love to take people to bluegill fish. It's such a fun time to spend with your friends or your family, your kids. This particular spot, there's a white pole out here in the middle of this bay. They're coming in here bedding on these firm bottom areas. We're in a creek, we're in a pocket in a creek, and our TWRA, which is Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, has actually put this stake out, and it's a fish attractor, and these fish have come in here and made a bed around it. And one of the cool things about bluegill and shellcrackers is that they just almost like clockwork go back to the same bedding areas every year. That once you find a bluegill bed, that's usually good year after year after year.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Marine, go boldly. Lowrance Electronics, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
That's a good bluegill, folks. That is a pretty stout bluegill for Kentucky Lake standards. There's one, a little better one right there. Maybe a shellcracker. That's what we're looking for. Oh yeah. Nope, that's just a big old bluegill. That's a good bluegill, folks. That is a pretty stout bluegill for Kentucky Lake standards. They do get a little bigger than that, But that by and large is a big one every day long. The thing about these, they are, as fun as they are to catch, they're incredible to eat. There's about 100 ways to prepare them. You can't go wrong with filleting them and just frying them, breading them and frying them. We take them and we'll actually do them like with a shrimp boil and chill them and eat them with cocktail sauce. Man, it's just, there's no way to, hardly a way to mess them up. And they are so fun to catch. Guys, we're gonna move around here. I'm hunting for these shellcrackers, so I'm gonna get repositioned. We're gonna send you to your local fishing report.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Outdoor Report, talking Louisiana, talking saltwater fishing. Right now we're still getting a couple of these little fronts and wind changes come through, as you can see here. Wind's blowing 20 out the north. We had to throw live shrimp under a popping cork today, fishing real shallow, 1 foot, 2 foot of water off some points, maybe some scattered shells. But these caught a nice limit of redfish. Right now on the east side of Louisiana, when the fronts start coming through, lots of speckled trout caught on soft plastics and 1/4 and 1/2 ounce rattle traps. Tell you what, over by Towfield Bourgeois there, he's been going out to the Chandelier Islands, also doing real good. We get 1, 2 more of these fronts past us, saltwater action on the whole Louisiana coast will be picking up. Guys, y'all have a good time?
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
I tell you what, y'all want to make a trip down here? Give those old Cajun Phil or Captain Kevin a call. We'll bring you out and put you on some fish.
I tell you what, feeling these dudes bite, man, they are so aggressive. And it's just every cast. That's why it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. It's another nice bluegill. The goal out here on Kentucky Lake really is the shellcrackers. Now that's a nice bluegill. If I were coming to Kentucky Lake to bluegill and shellcracker fish, the prime time is the first full moon in May. Now I'm a little bit early for that, but if you're coming here, if you ever want to plan a trip, you plan it around the first full moon in May and you can catch them. They're here, they bite. As you can see, I can literally catch on every cast right now, and it's gonna do nothing but get better until the peak in the first full moon in May. Now, if you'll notice, this thing right here is about twice the size of those bluegill we've been catching. Shellcracker right there. Now, if you'll notice, this thing right here is about twice the size of those bluegill we've been catching. You can actually lip them just like a bass. And the shellcracker and bluegill get in a lot of the same areas. And what you need to look for when you're looking for these bedding areas, they like a firm bottom. And if you can see, there's buck bushes and there's willow trees around us. They like to have things to bed around. It gives them a little bit of a comfort, like a barrier, like a wall perhaps. And so oftentimes willow trees and buck bushes and stuff of that nature will show you that you're in an area with the right kind of bottom. And when they move in there, it's game on. And if you get into a school of these dudes right here, it's all, I mean, it is all, as much fun as there is in the sport of fishing. There's one right out here by the boat. What do we got? Feels like a shellcracker. Oh, it is a shellcracker. Man, these things, compared to those bluegill, we call them shellcrackers because they're known to eat this little mollusk that lives in the lake, and they actually can crack their shells with their mouths to eat them. It's a really cool fish. A big one on this lake is about 14 inches long. That's a real big shellcracker. 12 inches, a giant, 14 inches as big as they get. This right here is a pretty average size. Stay tuned, we're gonna throw you back to your local fishing report.
Well, with these high water levels again in my part of the state, northeastern Oklahoma, it has me once again looking for places to explore, which I love to do anyway. A lake that has caught my attention is Altus Lugert in southwestern Oklahoma, north of Altus in the Quartz Mountains. About a 6,500 acre impoundment that over the past 5 years has suffered from serious drought conditions and also a couple of major golden algae blooms. The past 3 years, the Department of Wildlife has really concentrated on getting that fishery back up where it's supposed to be, and fall reports show that that lake has good populations of walleye, largemouth, and crappies. Now in this picture, Ryan Riswick, the fisheries supervisor for that region, shows this nice walleye and a big old fat largemouth. The walleye population is really strong there with a lot of 18-inchers already showing up, and May is an excellent walleye month. If I was fishing right now for walleye, I'd be concentrating on those long sloping points and some of those pockets that have those big boulders out in the shallow areas. I would use a Roadrunner style head with a 2 to 3 inch grub body on there. A great choice for that is the Bobby Garland 3-inch slab slayer, because both walleye and crappie like that bait. You'll catch both of those species in this body of water. The crappie have really come on strong as well. As you can see in this picture by a fisheries technician holding up a couple of nice crappie, that's John Perry from the Department of Wildlife. Like I said, those guys have been working hard to get this fishery back up, and the spring reports are really good coming from Altus Lugert. I intend to get up there soon to check it out. I hope you can beat me to it, because you can't catch them if you don't go.
There's one. Oh yeah. Pretty good one too, I think. Oh, he ain't a bad one. There ain't such thing as a bad shellcracker. These are what you're looking for right here. I love to bluegill fish. I love to bring my family out and catch bluegill, because they get piled up in one spot and there's usually a bunch of them. These guys they're bigger, meaner, they fight harder. There's more meat on them when you clean them, and they taste just exactly the same in my opinion. What I'm doing right now is I fish down through here using a little spinner, kind of as a locator, kind of like a little spinner bait. Get a bite, maybe catch one. Oftentimes you just get a bite on it, and then I'm coming back through with a jig head with a red worm on it and just dragging it through that area.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue Bass Baits and Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leaders in soft plastic lures innovation. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Ooh, a little drag spin in there. Might be a good one. Ooh, a little drag spin in there. Might be a good one. Changed up and went to a different spinner. That's a pretty good one right there. Yeah, that's a big old shellcracker. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see how wide he is across the back, how thick he is. That's what I would call a hammer right there. That's what you come out here and do this for. Man, I mean, and he hit it like a ton of bricks. That is a good Kentucky Lake shellcracker. They get bigger, but that's a big one. Don't just say I'm gonna fish with a worm, or I'm gonna fish with a cricket, or I'm gonna fish with a little plastic bug or whatever. I have gone to a spinner, matter of fact, 2 different kinds of spinners, and have gotten more bites on that, which is kind of out of the ordinary. They're usually what we would use around here to locate and search for fish with. So my advice to you, they're not probably the stingiest fish on earth, so you can vary your presentation a little bit with some confidence. So I'm gonna put him in the box. I'm gonna ease back up here to this spot and try to zone in. Kind of when you get on the bed, right, you get it narrowed down, you can almost repeat the cast, and it's every cast. So I'm gonna put him in the box, ease back up here. I'm gonna send you to your local fishing report.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is once again brought to you by Ulrich Cabins. Family owned, Texas based, Ulrich Cabins is ready to build the dream cabin you've been looking for, whether it's a place to stay while you're fishing at the lake or a retreat on your own hunting property. Ulrich is ready to help you. Be sure and check out mytexascabins.com on the web to get your Lone Star Lakes only viewer discounts today. Now we're going to start in Central Texas with Lake LBJ, which has been known for years as a great striper lake, and it still produces good catches of stripers. You'll be fishing over main lake structure with things like a striper sniper or a half-ounce jig head with a bone, shad, or even blue-colored swim bait attached. Another thing LBJ is getting a reputation for is actually the largemouth bass, and you'll want to start your mornings early in the mouths of the creeks, fishing your topwaters and your spinnerbaits and your Cincos. For topwaters, use your natural bone, chrome, or clear colors, then switch to your chartreuse spinnerbaits and finish up with a watermelon red Cinco. And finally, Marble Falls is really turning on as a bass fishery right now. You'll want to use swim baits of various sizes in shades of white, blue, or chartreuse. Put those on a jig head or a chatterbait up shallow early in the morning for Marble Falls bass. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Ulrich Cabins. Check out mytexascabin.com for your Lone Star Lakes viewer discounts. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, so far 2017 has provided a lot of fickle weather. Just when a pattern begins to emerge, frequent wind shifts either blows out or pushes in water, plus stirs up water clarity. Anglers have really had to hustle to stay on fish. As May progresses, forecasts say the upper coast should see lighter winds, but there's always a chance for a westerly influence that can create less than favorable conditions from Sabine southward to West Matagorda. Middle and lower coast anglers will use the protection of the barrier islands to hide from the wind, but also to fish the back lakes as well as their drains. Weedless lures will allow anglers to fish flooded grass as well as contend with floating grass lines. On the lower Laguna Madre, windy days are days to drift the flags for redfish and trout. Use 2 or 3 drift socks to slow your rate of drift. Light wind days in May results in the first opportunity to fish the beach. This is a go-to option from Port Aransas all the way northward to Sabine to wade the trout-filled surf. This weekend, Saturday has a single high tide as the only tide of the day. This Sunday has a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
You know, the 2 things we've been fishing for today are bluegill and shellcrackers. I wanted to show you what the 2 look like side by side. This is a pretty good size bluegill. It's not a giant, but I would say it's a good bluegill for this lake. The shellcracker, on the other hand, as you can tell, is much bigger. The bluegill has a real blunt head, and the shellcracker has more of a rounded head with a bigger mouth. Bluegill are fun to catch, but shellcrackers are kind of the crown jewel of pan fishing. Well, that one right there is pretty. You can see the color on him. They are, tell you one of the things too that I've always heard, and I think I've certainly experienced, you don't have to get real wild and fancy with colors. Everybody I know that's a real successful shellcracker fisherman fishes with black. If it's a grub, if it's a little beetle on your spinner, whatever it is, it's black. But that right there, I mean, that's a pretty good size. He's not a big one, but he is big enough to ride home with us in the live well. We're gonna head back in. It has been a pretty fun morning, and we got to be getting close to a one-man limit here. So we're gonna put this dude in the box, and I'm gonna gather up, and I'm gonna see you at the dock.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday at 5:30, or catch the repeat airing Saturday morning at 8. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the How-To button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Motor Guide, because accuracy matters. And Excite Technologies, powering the world forward.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Clay wants to know, how do you locate crappie on a lake you are fishing for the very first time? For the answer, we asked Mr. Crappie, Wally Marshall.
What do I look for going to a lake that I've never been to? Hey, I get on my computer, I pull up Google Earth, I look at the lake, and then I get a map out of the lake because I want to see where the creek channels are going, and I'm looking at the lake to where the boat docks are, and I can see all the structure on Google Earth, but then I can see the creek channels on my map. That's before I go to any lake that I've never fished before, and it will help you catch more crappie.
Thanks, Wally. If you want some help from one of the pros, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Now it's time for the Costa Catch of the Week, where someone wins a new pair of sunglasses.
It's time for the Costa Catch of the Week contest. This week's winner is Ryan Adair of Prosper, Texas, with a 40-inch redfish he caught in the lower Neches River in Texas off of Sabine Lake. To enter the contest, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Costa Catch box on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send in your big fish photo. You could win a new pair of Costa sunglasses. You can see all the Costa sunglasses at their website by going back to our homepage and clicking the Costa logo. You can see all the frames and lens styles in one place. Here's the gear you need to do this. For bluegill and shellcracker fishing, I use a light to medium light action rod. This is a Wally Marshall combo. It's his Pro Series by Luz. It's perfect. Right size reel, right size rod, everything I need. I use 3 of these exact same combos today. One of the coolest things that I like for bluegill fishing is something often overlooked, and that's my tackle storage. This is a Bass Mafia 3600 box. I can stuff everything I need for a day of pan fishing in this box. It's got a gasket seal, 4 latches, stays dry, stays secure, it floats if it blows out of the boat, and everything I need is in one small, easy, convenient place. Let me talk to you a minute about stuff that matters. You know, all this fishing stuff is awesome. I love fishing. I love getting out and chasing these fish around trying to figure them out. One of the things that makes fishing so much better to me is, like these guys back here, spending time in a boat with somebody else. It is a great way to get to know somebody. It's a great way to get to spend one-on-one time. Some of the best memories I have with some of my family and closest friends have been forged over a time in a boat. Let me encourage you to take something that you're passionate about and share it with those around you. You'll make memories that'll last a lifetime, and that's stuff that matters. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you can take what you've seen here today and apply it to either here on Kentucky Lake or your home waters. I hope you can put more and bigger panfish in your boat. Barry's going to be back with you next week, but I've had a ball hanging out here with you today and catching these fish. Well, I hope to see you soon. Take care and God bless.